Okay.
Yeah. So I've managed to get through one finished winter. So I heard that's an important milestone, and then you can handle the rest.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, what does your work include?
Most of my day is actually spent like painting or modeling, and I mainly work on the environment, like the arenas of the Clash Royale. But I'll do other things like marketing or if card images. Depends on what we need at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, drawing every day?
For the most part, or 3D modeling. Yeah, it's like building dragons or whatever.
Yeah, basic day, building dragons.
Average job, just making dragons. Yeah.
And how much do you collaborate with the coders and all the other sections?
Oh, all the time. So we have around 4 coders on our team, so it's almost like 1 per artist. And I work with them constantly trying to figure out how can we integrate the assets into the game, how can we make it better. And it's really a collaborative experience, which is amazing.
So what do you love about your job, or why do you want to be a game artist?
Yeah, I never thought I was going to be a game artist.
Oh,
When I
really?
grew up, I thought I was going to be like an architect or an engineer or something like that. And then all of a sudden, I was like, maybe I should go the complete opposite direction from this very math-oriented into a more artsy expression. And I grew up not knowing what I wanted to do, and I was in college, and I was trying to figure out, I was just taking random art classes, trying to figure out what I was going to do. And all of a sudden, this game design course showed up. And I took this one class, and this one class happened to be, it was an art director at Electronic Arts. That's where I first got started. And they had this competition for an internship, and I got that. And then I got into this industry, and I loved it when I was like, yeah, I guess I played games before, and I liked them, but I never really thought about making them. But this whole experience in this internship really changed my mind. It's like, this is a viable career. And so from there, I've just been doing it ever since. And yeah, it's great. I mean, like I said, all I do is like build dragons. Like, that's the dream.
And what about you're making mobile games mostly?
Actually, ever since I started in the industry, it's been mobile games.
Oh, okay. So is there something special about mobile game art? Or
I love it because there's a lot more stylization that occurs in mobile art. A lot of console games are in next-gen graphics, and like, you can spend days on just creating a rock. Whereas I'm more like, I guess I'm more, my attention span's a little lower, so I like to go and work faster and work on different styles. And yeah, I think mobile really allows me to do that.
Oh, okay. So it's, fast working.
Yeah, fast, and I like that sort of immediate satisfaction.
So what is the hardest part in your job?
The hardest part is honestly the creative process. I guess it can be very straining on your mind, just constantly trying to figure out, I have to be kind of creative today and like figure out these solutions, and sometimes that can be a little draining.
Oh, okay.
It's not so much the technical bit, because I think I can pretty much sort that out, but it's just like thinking of ideas, and it requires a lot more thinking than you realize, and how to solve these problems in the game.
Yeah. So have there been any time that you just don't?
Yeah, there's definitely been times where I'm just like, gosh, I don't know what to do here, and you sort of. I think the best thing to do is actually just like step away from it for a while and move on to the next thing where you're a bit more confident in what you're trying to achieve.
Okay. And do you have enough time for all this creative thinking in your work, or are they pushing you all the time? Or
No, it's actually quite relaxed. I guess the Finnish working life is much more calm than say in America, which is which it can be like a lot of hours, but like here it's much more balance, I would say, between work and outside work, and the lifestyle is much better.
Oh, okay.
So you have that time to rest and like recover, and then come back the next day and think, oh yeah, I'm ready to work.
Okay, and you have been in 7 years creating 2D illustration and 3D models.
Yeah, 7 years. So I started back in 2010, and I worked at EA Electronic Arts for 4 years.
Oh, okay.
And then I moved to New Zealand, and I worked there for about 2 years, and then I moved to Finland, and working at Supercell.
Okay, and what kind of projects have you made, or?
I've worked on a bunch of different games now. I've worked on everything from fantasy games to farming games to now like battle games and Clash Royale. I started at a company called Mythic Entertainment, which is known for their big PC MMO RPGs. They did Warhammer, Ultima, and so I was working on those franchises. And then when I moved to Gameloft, I did a farming game, and then was working on another title, but then it got shut down, and then I moved to Supercell, and now I'm working on Clash Royale.
Oh, okay. So many kind of games.
Yeah, I think that suits me too. Is like I can work on different projects, and it always retains my interest.
Oh, yeah. Is there some little detail or some project that you're really proud of, or like, yeah, that's a great idea I had?
I mean, I really love the game I'm working on now, Clash Royale. I mean, it's probably the most played game I've ever played, especially on mobile. It's just, it's funny how you can become addicted to your own game. But I love it because everything that I do, because we're such a small team, everything I do is sort of a massive impact to the game. So that's really a rewarding experience.
Okay, and you still can play games just for fun, that you're not looking like only the work and no, that one I didn't do so well. No,
I think working in video games kind of ruins video games a little bit, because I start looking at games. I'm like, oh, how do they do that? Like, what's the technical side of this? Or like, oh, how's that parallaxing work? And like, I like looking at games from that perspective. Oftentimes I'll be in games where I'm just, looking at the environment just like for minutes and be like, oh, that's nice, that's nice. Where most people just like focus on the goal. I'm just like looking at this flower on the ground. So it's kind of ruined it in that way, but I still try to find time to have some enjoyment with it.
Okay. And you can play Clash Royale and enjoy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can definitely do that. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Your seminar, Big Art on a Small Scale. It was really interesting because you were criticizing art, and then you said that it is important and it is not important.
Yeah, I like to argue both sides of it, because I think in some aspects the art is probably less important than some other aspects of the game. Like I think gameplay will always top anything else in a game. If you don't have the right gameplay, people are not going to want to play, period. But my point was that art can really enhance it. So you use art as a tool of aiding people's interaction with the game and really enhancing the overall experience of it. So like I was saying, it's important, but it's not, and it's, I sort of argue back and forth on it. Even though it's strange coming from an artist, I know I would be like, yes, art is the most important thing in the world, but I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I think it was a great start. You're an artist, game artist, and you say that, art, not important.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa.
Yeah, just kind of.
But I was wondering, because you talked that some of the starting projects don't have game artists, and that's why the games never go forward. So is it actually the most important part to get a game artist in the start?
I think you should get an artist. Maybe you don't need it initially in the first couple of maybe weeks or months. I think coders can probably build the framework first, and then an artist can come in later and really, spruce it up and show it off the way it's meant to be. Oftentimes in prototyping, you can just get 2 coders working together or 1 coder, and they have this big game idea, but because the art is so distracting, people can't often see the big picture. They're saying like, why is this a clip art of a turtle instead of a tank? And so they're focused more on the individual parts, because we're visual learners. So we focus in on the individual aspects, whereas the coder has this big picture idea, but all we can see is what's presented to us in front of our face. So having an artist can really help clarify those ideas.
And is it sometimes hard to communicate with the coders, or?
No, I never find it hard communicating. Yeah. It's just, you know, as long as you have this open communication and you trust each other and what they're trying to achieve, then I think that's really important. But if you're arguing over sort of petty details, then you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. And you also said that don't waste coders' time.
Yeah, I still believe that. Like I was saying in the talk, I've been shot many times by Nerf guns saying, get out of here, like, stop putting bugs into the game. And yeah, I don't want to waste a coder's time. Like, my job as an artist is to really try to do everything I can with art without bothering code. But of course, there are instances where I say I can't physically do it myself. I need the help of a coder, and that's the time that I actually go to a coder. But if it's something like, oh, I want this to do a specific animation on a specific thing, and if it becomes very specific, then I have to reevaluate if it's really worth it. And because I know we're such a small team that, you know, any time that is spent working on art is time away from actually working on the code base of the game.
Oh yeah, that's true. So what is like important enough to go to the coders?
Well, if it's something that I think will really have an impact in the game, like really stands out and really aids in the gameplay, then that's when I'll go to a coder and be like, hey, I need your help on this.
Okay.
But if it's something that I think is just makes it look a little bit better or has a visual fluff, then I'll have to reevaluate it and see if it's really worth their time.
So does the coders ever come to you and say like, hey?
Oh yeah, definitely. For example, one of the coders will implement sort of character gameplay type, and you know they'll have characters that do some kind of specific attack, but it's not reading well in the game. So then that's my job to figure out how can I make this look better and how can I communicate this attack rather than just sort of simple code art. So it's really a collaboration.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so it's always back and forth. Like sometimes they need me, sometimes I need them, but in the end we both need each other, you know?
Yeah.
Otherwise it just doesn't work.
And you were talking a lot about advertising. So is it like the most important or one of the most important?
I think it's, you know, Johannes of actually Frogman had a great point, which was marketing is not the most important thing. I think gameplay is obviously the most important. So if you have a good game already, marketing can only multiply that and really get it out to the most people. And it's marketing's job to just put it out there, but it's really the game to hold people's attention. So I think that's the purpose of marketing, is to just get it to as many people and as many eyes as possible.
Yes, but so as an artist, you still want to focus maybe more on the marketing, or
I think it's important to spend quality time on marketing. Just because you don't want to present like a bad package to people. You want to have your best foot forward, and you want to present the most sort of beautiful and comprehensible package to people. Otherwise, you know, they're going to look at this. I showed a picture of like 2 Skittle packages, and which one would you rather go with? And I think you would rather go with the one that looks nice and, you know, pretty and well put together. So it's important to have that presentation as good as it can be.
And then also you were speaking about the app icons.
Yeah.
And how important they are. So what makes a good app icon as an artist?
Well, I mean, it could come down really to personal opinion, but I think any app icon that is sort of clear and recognizable, even at a small scale, I think many app icons are, you know, maybe can be overcluttered and you can't really see what it is at a small scale. But anything that's sort of iconic, and you look to it and it really stands out against the other apps in your phone, that makes a good icon. So really the best way is just to test the icon, put it in your phone, and see like are you looking at it when you scroll by?
Yeah. And how did you decide to make a yelling man in
Well,
Clash Royale?
that wasn't my decision, but I think it's interesting because I think it was inspired by Clash of Clans, since Clash Royale is sort of a spin-off of the Clash universe.
Yeah.
We wanted to have some sort of synergy between the two. So Clash of Clans is a yelling barbarian, so we thought maybe it's appropriate to have a yelling king.
Okay, yeah, they go good together.
Yeah, so there's still some synergy between them, but there is obviously differences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what about the future? What is going to be your next project, or?
I don't know. I hope it's. I just hope people enjoy it. Really, is whatever it is. I hope just people enjoy it, and I enjoy it, and I enjoy working on it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have any plans yet, but you know, that could change any day.
Is there some kind of game that you're still hoping to do, that you really want to do? Like
yeah, of course. There's my own like personal. I want to build this game, and yeah, maybe I'll do that one day. I'm still tinkering away at the ideas of what it could be.
Okay.
I think everyone who works in the industry has their own dream game that they want to work on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your dream game is?
Well, it's still in the works. It's still in the works. So
okay.
yeah, I have to flesh it out more. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
And where can we follow you or see you speaking next?
I have no plans of speaking next, but I don't know where you can follow me. I don't have a Twitter or Instagram or anything like that.
Oh, you don't?
No,
okay.
I don't. I just have a website, but that's not really where you can reach me. You can reach me at, what can you reach me at? Ciprianiart@gmail if you want to email me. Yeah.
And maybe playing Clash Royale and with
Yeah,
all the updates.
yeah, my name is Cip, C-I-P in the game. So if you come across me, say hello, give me a little emoji, thumbs up, and I'll know it's you. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for being our guest here
Yeah,
today.
thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching Fireside Chat, and we will be seeing you soon.